Cinderly carried warmth differently at night. Not through the air, but through its windows. Soft golden light spilled gently onto the cobbled streets, gathering in quiet pools beneath the lanterns. Curtains glowed from within, each home holding its own quiet story behind glass and lace. From the hill above, the lantern tower watched over it all. Its glow was no longer thin, not yet whole, but steady, as though something long unsettled had begun to find its balance. Emmeline Hart noticed the warmth more than most. She always had. She noticed the way voices softened in the evening, the way footsteps slowed, the way light lingered in a room long after the candle had been lit. Her room sat near the front of her home, where the window faced the street. A small wooden table rested beside her bed, and upon it lay a few simple things she kept close. A ribbon, folded carefully, faded slightly with time, but still soft to the touch. Emmeline sat beside the table, her fingers resting lightly against the ribbon's edge. She did not pick it up. Not yet. The room was quiet, but not empty. Something in the air felt near. She had felt it for several nights now, since the lantern had dimmed. A quiet distance, not from the world around her, but from something she could not quite name, as though a warmth she had once known had stepped just out of reach. Emmeline drew a slow breath. The feeling did not disappear, but it shifted, like something waiting to be understood. She reached for the ribbon, lifted it gently between her fingers. For a moment, she simply held it. The fabric moved softly as her hand trembled, just slightly. Not from fear, from memory. She closed her eyes and let herself remember. Not in fragments, not in sharp images, but in feeling. Laughter, soft voices, warm hands. Moments that had passed, but had not truly gone. The ribbon did not hold those memories. It reminded her of them. That was enough. A quiet thought came to her then, not spoken, not formed in words, just present. What if warmth does not leave, but simply waits to be felt again? Emmeline's grip on the ribbon loosened, not letting go, but no longer holding tightly. Her shoulders softened, her breath steadied. The quiet distance she had felt for days began to fade. Not because something returned, but because she understood it had never left. Outside, the street lantern glowed steadily. Its light stretched gently across the window glass. Inside the room, the air felt warmer, still, held. Emmeline placed the ribbon back onto the table, carefully, gently. And this time, when her hand moved away, the warmth remained. High above Cinderly, the lantern tower responded. The glow deepened. Not brighter, but fuller than it had been in many nights. The light no longer felt divided. It held together, balanced. On the hill, Elias Ashbourne stood beneath the tower once more. He did not need to look long to feel the change. It came to him now, the way breath comes without effort. Something had shifted again. Not through stillness alone, not through calm, not through grounding, but through something softer, something that reached outward and held. Elias stepped forward slightly, his eyes fixed on the lantern window. The glow within it seemed different tonight. Not just steady, connected, as though threads that had once been distant were beginning to draw closer. He placed his hand against his chest again. The hollow space within him had changed. It was no longer a quiet emptiness. It felt waiting. Down in the town, beneath separate rooftops, the quiet changes continued. In a narrow attic room, Theo Alder slept without waking to the shadows. In a room lined with books and drifting curtains, Julian Breyer breathed slowly, his thoughts no longer racing ahead of him. In a small garden at the edge of town, Clara Hawthorne's window remained open to the night, the stillness outside no longer distant. And in her softly lit room, Emmeline Hart rested with her hands folded gently beside her, the ribbon lying undisturbed. None of them knew of the others. None of them saw the pattern forming. And yet, something between them had begun to move. Above them all, the lantern tower held its glow. 4 quiet changes. 4 unseen shifts. Each one answering the same silent call. Elias looked out across Cinderley. For the first time since the lantern had dimmed, he felt something new. Not certainty, not understanding, but direction. Something was drawing together, not by force, not by design, but naturally, as though what had once been whole could not remain apart forever. The mist drifted lower along the streets. The lanterns burned steadily. The windows glowed warmly against the night. And high above the town, the light no longer waited alone. It held, quietly, patiently, as something unseen began, slowly, to draw near. Good night. Sweet dreams.